Hey, gonna have a quick one for you today as I'm on a break at work right now, and I work at the fitness center, one of the fitness centers here in my town. But just finished listening to a book called The Art of Productivity by Jim Stovall, and actually it's there's a series of them: art of learning, art of communication, art of, he's got a variety of them along with another guy, Ray Hall, and another guy, but I can't remember who. Anyway, there was a part in the art of productivity where Stovall talked about when we're communicating with people, and then especially people on our teams, people that we lead, people who we're trying to, create some kind of production with, the art of productivity. We need to always remember our what and our how. This is classic, like from Simon Sinek's Start With Why, but we also need to communicate our why and their why. In other words, why are we doing what we're doing? Why am I telling you the importance of us doing what we're doing, or what I'm asking you to do as the leader of this organization? And, I've long understood this concept. The problem is for many years of my years as a coach, I didn't really do this with my players enough. Yes, there were times, there were certain situations where I would explain the why, but especially early in my career, especially in the first 10, 15 years of my career, the why was because I'm telling you, because I'm the one in charge. And so I'm telling you, this is what you need to do. Therefore, you need to do it. That's not a great why. And it works, and it will work at times just fine. And there are times where you're going to have to fall back on it. Middle of games, you're making a decision, that's just the why. But the majority of the time, when we are communicating with our players, practices, team meetings, things like that, we need to try to work in the why as to why we're doing something, because then it helps crystallize it for them. It helps give them a better understanding as to, first of all, of course, they're hearing why do it, so then how, the how can be impacted in turn, and then the what we're doing is impacted. If I know why I'm being asked to do something, and I can wrap my arms around that, there is so much greater of a chance that I am going to give that much more to it. Of course, if I don't believe in or agree with the why, then I might balk at it. But for the most part, when you're communicating with your players, you're communicating with your teams, when you give them the why, here's why we're doing this. And it doesn't have to be a long drawn out thing, but just to give them some idea of the purpose for why you're asking them to do such and such, or why you're running this certain drill, or incorporating this new player, whatever it might be. If you can add into it for them the why, the chance for them to latch onto it and be able to go, oh yeah, now I get it, and then turn around and really focus their attention and their energy on performing the what and how you want it done, is going to go up so much greater. And so I really think it's a good idea for us to embrace this concept that when we are communicating with others, we need to really consider giving them the why. Think about parents. When you communicate with them, and you'd be talking about playing time philosophy, let's say. That one's just coming to me off the top of my head. Well, what is your why for having that philosophy? Why will you play X amount of, these players in these types of minutes, and why do you do the things you do, or why will you choose to do the things you will choose to do? When the parents better understand that, have a better understanding of the why behind it, I think it'll really help in terms of limiting the number of maybe quote unquote, parent problems that you may have. But the most important group really for this are your players. And don't do like I did for too long in my career and not give them the why. And I'm not saying every time I teach something to my players, I give them the why. I'm coaching middle school kids right now. I do a lot less of this than I started to do in my last years of coaching, the varsity level. But at the varsity level, I started giving them a lot more of the why. They were mature, they could handle it a little bit better, I could get into a little bit more detail, but I didn't do it all the time either. It doesn't mean you have to do it all the time, although as much as possible it helps. But I also didn't go into a ton of detail. But the moment I could give them a why, I think it helped, as I used that word earlier, crystallize a little bit for them. Okay, I get this, I'm part of this. Plus it brings them into the fold. They feel like, coach, wants me to know the why. Coach trusts me with this, okay? And I think that can really help as well in terms of building that relationship, building the trust, and building the ideas that, we're in this together, okay? And so I want to give you the why to help you better understand how this fits into our big picture as to who we are, what our identity is, and where we're trying to go with this. And so when I give you the why, that will help you better understand why we're doing it. So then you'll go out and do the thing that we need to do to the best of your ability, and then work at how you do it that much better too. So anyway, something to consider. After I heard that and was listening to that book this past week, I thought, I really like that concept, the way he put it. And again, it's something I've thought for a while, but I really think the way that this guy put it, kind of made me go, I want to talk about that in my next video. And so there it was. Okay, we'll talk to you again next time.